This is the Appliance Alliance podcast, where we are elevating the appliance industry, one podcast at a time. Hey guys, and welcome to the Appliance Alliance podcast. I am your host with the most equipment, Zach Kreider. And alongside of me tonight, I have our second co-host. He is the one, the only, my southern brother from another mother, Mr. EJ Magic Mike Johnson.
Hey everybody, how we doing? We got an exciting one for you today. We're going to be talking with the one and only Alex Tiberi, talking about Google reviews. What's up, Alex?
How's it going, guys? It's good to get together and talk a little bit about this very important and exciting topic.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on. I've picked your brain. You and I have kind of nerded out on Google and the world of GMB and such. And it's kind of been fun to do that, a little bit of Google ads and stuff like that. And EJ actually utilizes your company. Like, he pays you money to make things happen for him. And so we have some really cool stuff to chat about. And, there's some stats. So if you're nerds, well, I'm going to let Alex kind of take it away with some of the stats, and then we'll get into some of the questions that you guys asked, as well as some discussion. So why don't you give us some of those stats about...
Sure. Definitely. So let's see. So this all started with, I have been wanting to try to put out some useful information, some helpful information for folks on particular topics that are relevant to, their businesses or their pursuit in growing their appliance repair service business. And I was doing some of my own sort of continued education and research, and I came across a study that is done annually on online marketing and particularly reviews. And I put together a post. I figured we would try to get some questions for folks and do a little bit of an Ask Me Anything session, which is why we're here now. But I'm going to rattle off some of these stats that come from the study, and I'm happy to share the link, the citation, in conjunction with this video. So did you know that 93% of consumers use the internet to find a local business in the last year, with 34% of them searching every day? 87% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses, and only 48% of consumers would consider using a business with fewer than 4 stars. 73% of consumers only pay attention to reviews written in the last month, and 72% of U.S. consumers have written a review for a local business. And last but not least, when writing a review, 20% of consumers expect to receive a response.
That last stat is actually kind of probably the most surprising to me, because if I put... Maybe I'm weird, but like when I write a review, I'm not typically looking for a response. I'm typically trying to educate, right? Like whether it's Amazon or something like that. Like, hey, here's what I experienced with the product. Maybe you won't, but this was mine. So 20% expecting a response. That's definitely an interesting stat.
Yeah, and there's more details in this study. So it's important to note that there's always more to it than what you find on the surface.
Yeah, I'll tell you from my perspective, being a consumer, obviously I think a little bit more about it because I'm also a business owner that is trying to get reviews. But even before then, whenever I would look up a business and look at the reviews, I would like to see more than 4 stars. And I do look for the most recent reviews. But another little thing that I like to do is I like to filter the 1 and 2 star reviews or anything lower than 3. And I like to read them for relevance because, one, most decent businesses have a lot of good 4 and 5 star reviews. I want to know what are the problems. and how are they handling them. And that's one thing that I'm sure Alex is going to talk about a lot in this is how to reply to a review. And one thing Alex likes to say, I don't want to steal too much of the thunder, is you're not necessarily replying to the person that wrote the review, but to the people like me that are reading, how did you respond to it? Because when you get over 100 5-star reviews and you got 2 or 3 1 stars, most logical or reasonable people are looking at like, all right, who are these yokels? What actually happened here?
And really quickly before we go a little too far, and I'm not sure if I might be stealing Zach's thunder, but um, EJ just mentioned something that some people watching this might be like, "What? Over 100 5-star reviews?" So really quickly, we don't know it all, but we know a thing or two. Um, and I'm just reading off this post. Maybe we can link to the Facebook post as needed for sort of future reference. But as of when I first posted this about 2 weeks ago, EJ has taken his appliance repair business from 25 reviews on Google My Business to 185 Google My Business reviews between February of 2021 and the beginning of October. And then my agency, part of the service that we offer is a component of it is replying to reviews, monitoring reviews. So far this year, we've dealt with, we've had over 500 reviews go across our screens, so to speak. So this isn't speculation here. The stuff that where we're coming from, it's coming from some experience. It's coming from what we do know, and I think EJ and I will be the first to admit that we don't know everything, but hopefully we'll be able to help some of the people that don't have as much exposure with this sort of volume of reviews and the sort of processes around the different aspects of where reviews play into the consumer's sort of interaction with the business.
Well, and let's before we get into the questions, let's kind of talk about how he did that because it's kind of been a twofold approach. So over to you, EJ. Why don't you share how you managed to accomplish that in just this short amount of time, and then we'll head over to you, Alex, where that's kind of helped your end of things as far as marketing him. So
Yeah, yeah. Talk a little bit about how I went from 25 to actually current total is 196. So thinking about your over 500, I'm close to half of them. Pick it up, guys. Anyways, uh, when I started up with Alex, and I think it was January, February timeframe, and he expressed to me the importance of generating reviews, sort of to bring traffic to our website and the Google listing to build credibility with Google to raise us up on the rankings. Uh, so I started looking into that, and there's a few things that came up with that. Was one, we was in the roundtable discussions. If you're not familiar with the roundtables, Alex does a weekly roundtable for appliance repair techs and owners on Thursdays, and he's puts that on his channel, App Digital, on YouTube. Uh, it's a lot of good information that comes out of it, and I'll shout out a few names. Bobby Howard, Andrew Soper, uh, contributed to some of the information about building a relationship, uh, credibility with the customer as soon as you walk in, uh, showing quality and value in the repair service. And then another one to shout out is Justin Gandy. In our personal mastermind groups, that's you heard us talk about me, Zach, TK, and Justin Gandy. Justin did a spiel about the art of the sale, and one part that I took out of that was backing up Bobby and Andrew's statements uh, of relating to the customer as soon as you walk in, building the value, be professional, offer something extra if you can. But as far as review goes, the number one trick to getting Google My Business reviews, wait for it, ask for them. If you don't ask for them, you'll be lucky to get any. And that's how I got 25 in 2 years and another 160, 70 of them in the next 8 months. Uh, I ask for them. How do I ask for them? I use the work management system software, House Call Pro. Uh, it customizes a text message that is sent to the customer on completion of a job. So every customer I go to, they're getting a text message with my Google My Business listing. Now, you can filter out who gets that and who don't. I just send it to everybody. Kind of keeps me honest. Uh, you'll see if you look at my GMB, I've got a couple 4 stars. You take them. It's honest feedback. We take it. If you're getting enough 5-star reviews, it don't matter. I've got 196 total between 2 listings, and they're both at 4.9. That's a respectable number. But that's how I'm doing it. At the end of each call, I'm going through the process on my tablet. You know, here's where I took your payment. Here's where your invoice is going to your email. Now I'm going to click this button, and you're going to get a text message that says, work is complete. On that text message is a link. If you want to help us out and you appreciate the service and you're satisfied, we really appreciate 5-star reviews. Don't just ask for a review. Tell them what you want. Some people think a 4-star is doing you a good deed. Ask for the 5. I'm gonna pass here. Let you guys catch up.
Yeah, that was a really good explanation of how you go through that process, and how you've managed to achieve that. So thank you for sharing that spiel. It really does make a difference when you go ahead and ask. And so, over to you, Alex. Like, how does that affect the marketing world? How does that affect the Google My Business, and some of the things that play into that?
Yeah. So I always like to speak from two perspectives. And whenever we're dealing with um, online marketing for business, and I tend to uh, spend the majority of my time in the area of the internet that is associated with Google and Google platforms. So I'm going to speak from that perspective. I always like to describe two angles. One is for the humans. So I always say the human eye versus the machines, the search engines. So first, and I'm going to start with the humans because uh, they're more important than the machines. They're both important, but there needs to be um, there needs to be some synergy there. And if we start thinking about the humans in mind, the consumers, the customers, the people that we want to serve, um, and then back that up with best practices according to the machine eye, then it's a recipe for success. So it's important to help consumers understand who they are considering working with. Um, there's all kinds of stats that are found in this study. Can share other references to additional studies. The We want to know who we're working with. We're going to look at people's reviews. Not only are we going to be looking at the the lower rating reviews, like EJ was mentioning earlier, but we're also going to be looking at the frequency. You know, how do they have reviews in the last month, 2 months, etc. Are they replying to those reviews? Do they care, or are they only going to care about getting my money and then peace? I've got what I needed from you. So for the machine eye, um, Google does look at reviews. They look at the frequency, or we call it review velocity. They look at the content of the reviews. They look at your engagement level, aka the replies that you leave to reviews. These all play into a number of factors that are ranking factors. When I say ranking factors, that means think of your business, think of your Google My Business listing on the map. Think of an approximate 20-mile radius around where your Google My Business listing is registered. If you don't have a storefront that customers can walk into unannounced, you should have your GMB listing set as a service area business. So that registered address is one that you should know. It should be documented in your head. It's not published publicly. But if you want to have your Google My Business listing to show up when people are searching for what you have to offer, if they're saying, "Hey Siri, um, where's the nearest appliance repair company near me?" Or, sorry, I got to turn Siri off. Um, or they're typing in, LG refrigerator service, um, Lexington, Kentucky, or something like that. Whether your Google My Business listing shows up depends on the ranking health of your business, and reviews play a part. So again, one more time, there's three aspects to the reviews that Google and the machines pay attention to. Number one is review velocity. So are you having reviews come in on a frequent basis? This tells the machines that you are an active business. You're not showing up one month because you feel like it, and then you're going and going hunting for a month, and then you come back. You're a real business. You have set business hours, and the public consumers can depend on you to reach out if they need your services. Um, the content of your reviews. So no text, just 5 stars. That doesn't do. That doesn't tell Google that what you do. A review where they say, "Hey, I had EJ out to my place here in Lexington, and I was having a lot of trouble with my refrigerator stopped cooling. I had my family coming over. I was really worried that our food was going to spoil, and I just spent a couple $100s on groceries. Um, he was able to come through. He took care of the repair. The refrigerator is now cooling. It's running properly. I'm really happy with the service that he provided in repairing my refrigerator." Google's machine learning uses I'd have to check the technical terms, but they are reading that, and their machines are reading, and they're looking at the contextual significance between the actual words that are that are being used. They're looking at synonyms. They're understanding to a surprising degree what is actually being communicated in that review, and they're saying, okay, this listing right here, they do this service, refrigerator repair service, in this location, Lexington, Kentucky. Um,
So, kind of in response to that, would it? So we have a lot of customers who'll just slam a 5 star and go on their day because that's just the type of customer they are. As a business owner or marketing manager, like if we know who that customer is and say we know that we repair their fridge, should we respond to that and, hey, thanks for the 5 star review, glad we could get your fridge going for you, and move on our way? Or does that just not help it at all?
I mean, um, so first of all, Google does not share their checklist of, hey, do this and it works out this way in our algorithm. So it's a lot of testing, a lot of experiments, a lot of just doing research and reading about the results of experiments that are being done. But yes, it's just as important as it is to have that contextual significance, that rich content that's being helpful, useful, and adding value to the internet in the review itself. Providing that in the reply is so important. Um, it's I think it's really important for people to take a step back and not get too pigeonholed into the specific tactics, and try to understand the overall concepts. And just like EJ was sharing his really complex secret of ask for reviews, I'm going to share this very complex secret of provide valuable information that is clearly communicated and relevant. You do that to the humans and to the machines, and you're going to be successful with your online marketing. And then, really quick, that third factor is showing that you are. I guess it ties to number one, replies to the reviews, because that's showing that you are reciprocating in activity, and It just kind of fuels or is linked to that first factor of review velocity.
So that segues really nicely into the first one of our first questions, and this is from Foreman. How should a business owner interact with their GMB page on a daily basis? Pics, videos, both. What types of posts are most effective, etc. And I know some of this goes into experimentation, but you kind of just hit on some of that too.
Um, so if somebody were to ask me for the daily GMB plan, I would say there are three things that you should do. And I'm going to give this checklist in two angles. First is priority. Number one priority is to review your Google My Business listing and make sure that it is optimized. Meaning, is it set as your primary category set? Is your secondary category set? All the basic stuff. Um, you do not want to set it and forget it. The details of your listing will change, and you won't even know about it if you're not paying attention. So, and this can be done one of two ways. Anybody can go to your Google My Business listing and suggest an edit, and Google also will take information from other places and aggregate it, and they'll update your listing without asking you. It goes into a pending period where you can review the suggested changes and accept them, but eventually it will automatically change. Um, so that would be number one. Make sure that your Google My Business listing is accurate. Go into the app, go on the computer, go under the info tab, just review it really quick. Make sure that no changes that are not relevant to your business have been made or are being suggested. Number two would be monitor your reviews. See if reviews came in. If reviews came in, reply to them. Doesn't matter if they're positive or negative. Doesn't matter if you believe that it is fake. You're still going to want to reply to it. And then a little caveat to number two: if you do believe it's fake, there are steps that you can take to report it, but it has to match in the guidelines saying these are the criteria. One of these criteria has to be met for you to have a review removed. And then number three is going to be um, upload, take a photo when you're on the job. And then when you're still out front, you go back to your vehicle before you drive away, open up the GMB app, upload that photo, and give a helpful, useful description to that photo that you're posting. Now, that's order of priority. If you're going to look at um, what order, you can do one and two at the beginning of the day and then do number three throughout the day. Or you can do three throughout the day and then do number one and two at the end of the day before you close up shop.
EJ, how do you interact with your Google My Business, or do you interact with your Google My Business?
Yeah. So as you mentioned at the beginning of the recording here, uh, I've enlisted Alex's services with App Digital, and that is one of the services he provides, as he mentioned. So at the end of my day, I send any pictures I've taken that kind of interesting. Like if we've come across something that maybe you don't see every day, or it's a really nice house and a nice appliance. I want to take a good picture of it, or if the machine was in a poor condition, and then I take an after, especially with the dryer vent cleanings. Uh, I just send those pictures to Alex and his team. I type up on my phone a little description mentioning what we did, what city we was in, and any interesting information, and they take it from there. So, like he mentioned, it is something you can do it yourself, uh, but I'm one of those that I don't know that. I'm a tech, a business owner. I've got other things to do. It's something that Alex provides, and I let him provide it, and it's working out really well for me.
And I will say there is a reason that you are catching up to me so fast. I do enjoy nerding out and I do enjoy doing some of that myself when I remember. Again, being a tech, being a business owner, I don't always have time to utilize that. And I don't always remember to have my staff do that. But, you know, we're at 285 reviews. We're holding a 4.8. And, you know, so we do some of the things that Alex suggests. I'm not as good at posting. I am on top of making sure those edits. I always get the emails as soon as someone suggests an edit to my site. Um, you know, I get that, review that, and then respond and make sure that's correct. So there's a couple different ways to answer that question. So thank you for that, Foreman. Andrew, I'm gonna kind of abbreviate this, but he did reference the first stat about 93% use internet searches. So as far as it specifically applies to the appliance industry, he's asking, so how can we encourage repair versus replace? Because that's our job is repairing and not replacing. Now some of us do offer replace, that's another story. But how would a business owner that's service like encourage or help that be one of the suggestions maybe that Google comes up with?
Um, so so first of all,
Or is that not worth the time? That's the final statement he said. Is it not worth our time?
so I think that there's two types of approaches to sales and marketing. One is the wrong way, and the other is the right way. The wrong way is, and I'm by no means thinking that Andrew's inferring this, but this is kind of getting answer to it. The wrong way is, I have something that I want to sell you. Let me try to sell it to you, or let me try to market it to you. So that would be a scenario where somebody is searching for appliance store near me, and you're trying to rank content to show up that is convincing them to get their appliance repaired instead of buying new from a store. The right way is understanding what the consumer's problem is and how they're trying to solve it, and presenting your first, you need to identify if what you offer is a potential solution, and if it is fitting with the problem they're trying to solve, then presenting it as a possible solution. So if somebody were searching appliance store near me and you only do repair, don't even try to show up for it. However, if somebody is searching things like when to repair and when to replace, that would be an opportunity to put together a helpful and relevant piece of content through like a blog article that you're getting to rank for that term, that is giving the pros and cons to consider when you find yourself in a situation and you're trying to solve the problem. Like, hey, do I replace this appliance or do I buy new? Um, so yeah, that would be my answer.
It's a solid answer there. Thank you for that, Andrew. So, on to the final question on the post from Michael. He says that his account was hacked. 5 1-star reviews posted all within like a quick succession of each other. Customers that he has no record of. Poor spelling, grammar, da da da. He reached out to Google. Google says no policy is broken. So how does he appeal, get removed? What is his best solution in this instance?
So I'm going to just like rapid fire my answer to this one, because I do want to try to answer what I think is probably going to be the most valuable one. Donnie Paul asking, is it overwhelming? Where do I even start? And I'll get to that in just a second. So Michael says his Google reviews account, Google My Business, has been hacked. So first, I think it's important to define accurate information. If 5 1-star reviews were left on his Google My Business listing, his Google My Business listing has not been hacked. You cannot leave reviews for yourself. So one of two scenarios may be going on: is he's received 5 fake reviews in a row, or perhaps there's a belief, a suspicion that 5 legitimate Google accounts have been hacked and used to leave fake reviews. It doesn't matter. What you do is you leave an accurate reply. You know, hi, Joe Smith. I'm sorry, but I don't have any record of having any contact with you or servicing you at all. I believe that you have the wrong business. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us, and we'd be happy to see if we can, give more information. Um, you can take the next step, which would be doing a little bit of research. Look at their Google account. Whenever somebody leaves a review, click on the link for their name. It'll show all the reviews that they left. Find out if maybe it's a mistake or maybe it's fake. I mean, EJ, he had a 1-star review, and we got it removed because we found out that person was trying to leave a review for an EJ's appliance repair in Texas. We looked, saw that they reviewed multiple listings in Texas. We left a good review saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I believe that you have the wrong business. It seems like you're looking for one with the same name in Texas. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us." Because we had evidence, we reported the review and we gave the evidence to Google to say, hey, we believe that this is a fake review and that they're looking for a different business. They don't have any record in Kentucky, and that review was taken down. There's been other scenarios where we look at all the reviews that are left in other areas, and there's reason to believe that it is fake, and we report it. But you always start with leaving a reply. Um, EJ mentioned this earlier. When you leave replies to reviews, number one, you are writing to everybody else that is not the reviewer that may be reading that review in the future. And then number two, you're replying to the actual person who left the review.
I got one more thing. Whether you get it removed or not, keep charging on. Bury that sucker down at the bottom as fast as you can. You get a 1-star review, quickly get 10 of them in the next 2 weeks. 10 5-star reviews rather in the next 2 weeks. And it don't even matter anymore. Because you've replied, oh well, your score changed, but anybody that's looking at it, it's going to quickly change. Now, the one bit of bad news is if it doesn't get removed. I think Bobby done the math on it. I think it's 85 5 stars to make up for 1 1-star. It's kind of a hole to dig out of for 5 of them, but for the rest of you, it's just getting a random 1 or 2 every now and again. Just bury it with 5-star reviews.
Two quick follow up facts. Number one, having a bad review not removed is can very well be a good thing, especially if they leave a people see through this stuff. People are reading reviews and they're going to read that and be like, that person's dumb or that's fake. And then you have a great reply, very professional, respectful, etc. right below it. It's just going to highlight the um, those aspects in the review itself, and people are going to see review, reply, and they go, okay, well, this makes me want to work with this business even more. Um, and
Can I hit on that? Can I hit on that really quick? Because this literally just happened. We had some guy that uh, we don't, we see in our call log like who's calling, and I can see the conversations and transcripts and stuff like that. And he's like, "Yeah, they're booked 2 weeks out. Don't even bother calling." And it wasn't true. We a couple days later, I had a customer, and she goes, "Yeah, I saw that review, and I knew I had to call your company just to see, because I needed repair, and so I had to call your company to see if that's true." She's like, "You had me in within like 2 days." She's like, "I don't know what that guy's talking about," and so like that speaks to bad reviews. People know what's crap. Like you have to kind of trust people to know what's crap, and that's where the value in responding to some of those does matter. I did not respond to that because like what am I gonna do? Like the guy had the opinion, and I just kind of let it ride, and it's already served its purpose and generated several 5 stars after that. So
And really quick fact number two on this perfect 5-star rating, EJ, I don't think you're going to like hearing this. I was just earlier today um, listening to a podcast, and they were referencing a study that I hadn't heard about, and they found that businesses that had over a 4-star um, average review and below, I think it was like a 4.8 or 4.5, so in between 4 and 4.5 or 4.8, had a higher rate of return revenue than businesses that had the average 5-star rating. There is some research out there that is indicating that consumers um, perhaps trust a business that has just a little bit less than a 5-star average, a little bit more than a perfect 5-star. Not everybody, but some is what some of this research is indicating.
I have a hard time believing pure 5 star. I'm one of those people that has a hard time. Like if I see you're a pure 5 star, I'm going, okay, where's in the words of How I Met Your Mother, where's the poop? Something's got to be fake in that, or it feels fake in that. Like it feels not genuine because you're not going to make everyone happy. There's just no way. So anyway, and the final question, let's hit on this final question as we begin to wrap up. Where to start, and is Google My Business overwhelming?
So, really quick, I just want to throw a couple concepts out there, and then I'll sit back and let you guys talk because I've been taking up a good amount of the airtime. EJ was talking about ask for a review. So that is very important. And I want to add a prerequisite to that, and it's this concept of priming. So when I talk about priming, it's all the things that all the intersection points between a consumer in your business, and then depending on what they experience in those intersection points, they may turn into an actual customer of your business. Um, all of those points where they're intersecting with your business are opportunities for you to prime them for when you ask for that review. So simply put, where do you start? It's overwhelming GMB and reviews. Don't get pigeonholed in how do I get more reviews. Focus on how do I provide excellent service and start with the basics. You know, who am I trying to serve? What problem do they have? How can I communicate that I have a solution to their problem? And how can I give them information that will help them make an informed decision to choose my business? Everything from your website or other aspects of your online presence to when they call, how the phone is answered, how they're communicated to by your CSR, whether it's on the phone or email. Maybe they're going to call back because they have to confer with their spouse. When they call back, are they met with a consistent experience, or did they speak to somebody great the first time that was very nice and respectful, and then the second time they talk to somebody else that's just like obviously they'd rather be doing other things. So think about all the aspects that go into providing excellent service and sort of developing an excellent business, and getting reviews are going to come um, when it's that appropriate time.
And then as far as overwhelming, like if you're a nerd and you want to do it like me, you can listen to the podcast and we'll kind of hit on the next piece. If you find it overwhelming and you don't have time to do it, much like EJ, you can contact Alex, and he does provide that service, and we'll drop your information down there, Alex, as well as the wealth of information for those of us that are nerds that you post in the group constantly.
Sure.
So
But
we thank you for your.
I just really quick, my service or somebody else's service is going to do squat for you if your business sucks. Um, so it's not about putting a band-aid on an infected wound. It is about identifying the cause of that infection and getting some antibiotics in there, cleaning that wound and letting it heal. Um, you know, and then put some whatever you know, anti-scar cream on it afterwards. You know, that's where our service would be. We're not a band-aid.
I love that analogy.
So you don't personally create good appliance repair businesses. I hear you. That's good, and that comment there aligns greatly with our message to the appliance repair community and what we're doing here with the Appliance Alliance, elevating the appliance repair industry. We want to, not just Alex, but all of us at the Appliance Alliance, we want to help you create and build or repair your business in any way that we can. Just reach out and ask. Speaking on priming, I wanted to add one more fun little bit. Uh, Priming the customer for review. I'm going to take it to the end point. Uh, I like to ask every customer where they found us. Even though it's asked on the phone call, we like to take that information just to have a little more of a conversation with them. But we're also gathering information on where our advertising is doing the best. But I like to ask it in house, especially if I know that they found me on Google. Because when they say, "Yeah, we found you on Google," and I say, "Yeah, I'm sure you read our reviews, and that might have been what led you to call us." And they say, "Yeah, yeah, I've read them all. They're great. It's really felt comfortable calling you." And I said, "Well, I'd really love it if you would become one of them and kind of roll them right into that motion because they're already saying that they had a great experience before they even called us. And then if you are delivering quality service, a professional nature, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to ask for a review and expect to get one because you know that you've done everything you can to deliver a good experience. And the experience is important. As Alex likes to point out all the time, what we do is solve customers' problems. They have a problem, we come in and fix it. That's a pleasant experience. They're having a bad day, we come in. If we do it well, they don't mind to pay a professional price for a professional product. Uh, yeah, they're happy, and some of the happiest customers are the ones that just paid eight, 900, $1,200, $1,400 for a repair. Some of you with the sub zeros might even be much higher than that, but those are the happy customers because they know the value of their appliance and the value of a good professional repair. It's good points, Alex.
Sorry, I was muted. Sometimes solving their problem is by not providing your service or not providing your full service. Sometimes solving their problem is over the phone identifying that, you know, they're going to get the solution is better in some other way. Sometimes it is, some of the best reviews that I've seen for businesses are, blah, blah was great. He came in, paid the service call fee, but he helped us save a lot of headache and we're going to end up buying new because that is the best solution to our problem. And we're so happy that, we spent that whatever amount of dollar on that service call fee diagnostic to get that information.
Yeah, we've actually gotten good reviews for telling a customer, "Yeah, we're not going to come out to your house. Here's what you're describing to us, and we can already tell you that this is going to be an issue without seeing the appliance." And they do, they appreciate that. And they kind of knew it. They just needed someone to let them know. So anyway. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for us. We've been talking for quite a while. There is a ton on this topic, and I'm sure we'll end up doing another podcast, another Ask Me Anything kind of thing. But I thank you for your time, Alex, and I thank you for your testimony, EJ. This is it's an interesting topic. It fascinates me, and I think there's many that it fascinates and many that it mystifies within the business world, and so. This is a topic not for the faint of heart, but it does break down pretty simple. Do the right thing, treat people right, act socially, interacting with your Google. Alex.
I would love to expand a little deeper another time and talk about the concept of beyond reviews and getting feedback to identify areas to improve within the business and identify things that are working well, things that need improvement. Um, it's Reviews are really just one of the surface level sort of manifestations of what I think is a more important core business concept.
Yeah, for sure. That's an entire topic in and of itself, and we'll definitely have you back. You are a wealth of knowledge, and we've really just enjoyed coming alongside you in this last year and growing together as business owners. It's been a lot of fun. So again, that was Alex with Apt Digital. Correct? I'm saying that correct. And my co-host, Mr. EJ Magic Mike Johnson. So for the Appliance Alliance podcast, we're signing off.